or your radio station of choice, 90.3 FM, Voice of the People, VOP 90.3 FM. We are the voice of the people. We give the people the necessary voice from this center of excellence, the state of aquatic splendor. Uh, on the issues in the news this morning, I have in the studio somebody who is making a return. He was here last week. We did enjoy his presence last week, and he's back in the studio with us. His name is Barrister. He's a Lagos-based legal luminary and a constitutional lawyer. Barrister Ehidiamen Eromosele. Welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you very much, Tayo. Good morning.
Yeah, and we will be discussing insecurity in the country. And I don't know if I'd be right to say we are facing an emergency, or we are in an emergency situation as regards security-wise in the country, because few hours ago, or in about 24 hours ago, we saw an audacious attack on Kuje Prison, the correctional facility in the Federal Capital Territory. That's very close to the seat of power. And the president took his time to visit the prison, and he said he was disappointed, particularly because of the failure of intelligence, that allowed such an attack to occur on Kuje Correctional Facility. And when it was the turn of the Minister for Defense, Bashir Magashi, to also visit the place, he made some kind of revelations as regards the number of Boko Haram, who are in custody in that prison that escaped. And also, we're also hearing that some who are also arrested for the attack on Kaduna Abuja train were also escaped during that attack on the Kuje prison facility. And many Nigerians are asking the question that we have well over 100 military men, NSDC, DSS that are guarding this facility. And we learned that suddenly when they withdrew these people, not up to 24 hours, there was an attack on Kuje prison facility. And we know many other facilities, centers across the country, Edo, Osun, Oyo, Kaduna, they've also recorded similar attack in which many of the inmates were set free. And Nigerians are asking the question, will it be the last attack on the prison facility in the country? The second topic for discussion today is on that courageous attack, again, if I may put it that way, on the advance team of the convoy of Mr. President. They were on their way to Daura, the hometown of Mr. President, on Tuesday when this attack occurred. And we learned many of those in that convoy were injured, although there was another report that claimed that 2 people died. But the president came out to say some of those who were injured in that attack are receiving treatment at a government facility, government hospital. But we're asking the question, if those who attacked the presidential convoy can have that the audacity to do so, who among us, we that does not have even a single guard, a single policeman, who among us in Nigeria is free at the moment? And the last we are going to discuss on the show today is the increase in the pump price of fuel. I am a typical example of this, because this morning I bought fuel for 178 naira per liter. And I know there are people who have also bought it more than the price that I had just mentioned. And government is saying that the pump price still remain at 165 naira or 165.50 naira per liter. So I don't know how much you have bought fuel in the last couple of days, but we have also seen queues across Lagos metropolis and across some other centers in the country. These are some of the things we'll be discussing. We will go on a very short break, and when we return, I'll be talking with Barrister Ehidiamen Eromosele on issues in the news. Don't go anywhere. My name is Taiwo Olapade.
Broadcasting worldwide, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
All right, welcome back. You are still listening to Issues in the News. And like I did mention in my introductory remark, we have Barrister Ehidiamen Eromosele in the studio with us. And the first question to you, Barrister, as we speak right now, it seems like the country is in an emergency situation as regards what has happened in the last 48 hours. But our president is in Senegal as we speak at the moment. Do you think the president should have left the country when the country is facing an emergency?
Again, good morning, Tayo, and good morning to your audience. And to be honest, when the news broke out on Tuesday, I was in a state of shock, just like every concerned citizen. Tayo, to give you a sense of what is going on here, Kuje prison is just roughly 7 kilometers from Aso Rock and about 24 to 26 kilometers from the airport. Taiwo, it's an understatement to say that we are under siege. And I say that with all sense of responsibility. There are a lot of questions
That needed to be answered.
and there are very few answers, and that gives me worry. I'm not a security expert, but the signs and the things that we see around point to a failure of intelligence and by and large leadership. Now, don't get me wrong, our security operatives are doing their best, or so it seems, but at this time, from the outcomes, it's beginning to appear that their best is not good enough. And whether the president likes it or not, the buck stops at his table. I think it's yesterday he went to visit the prisons before jetting out. But that is not a good look. Having to brief, by now I expect people to resign, or at least him showing people the way. We need strong signal to reinforce right now the attack. You're talking about what's the number 67. What do you call it?
Okay, you mean Boko Haram terrorists that were in custody that escaped?
And even as of this morning, there's no news that none have been found or recaptured. There's no gainsaying that the security apparatus and our architecture needs to be restructured. There's no gainsaying that we need to have real conversation. I think I aligned my opinion with that of the Ondo State Governor. We need to decentralize this thing. We need to coordinate it in a manner that will make security local and more effective than what we are seeing. But make no mistake, what I'm saying is not a silver bullet. My opinion is not a silver bullet. There's need to have an overhaul of this thing. Now, of course, some people will argue that the dimension of terror across the Sahel, the West Africa and Central Africa and all whatnot. But beyond that, even within our space and remote, Nigeria is a large country.
Sure.
It has a lot of remote places that don't have access to and there's still the question of self-sabotage. And I'm beginning to to listen to those who forward that argument, really, because as you would also know from the papers, they say that the
There was
security,
sudden withdrawal of security men, guarding the place, and less than 24 hours, there was audacious attack on the facility.
Taiwo, we're talking about more questions.
And this is not the first time you're experiencing this.
These are more questions. I would invite the audience and the general public to read the editorial of Punch today. It captures everything succinctly.
Oh.
It hits the nail
on the head.
Oh my goodness. I read it, I was like, wow. Where it talked about the president at this point needs to take charge. This constitutional duty, right, is to protect the citizens and also property.
And the property. Yeah.
And you don't show, leadership that at this time, you don't show empathy, sensitivity. You don't show how grievous the situation is by going to another country to go and do what, really? You have an ambassador there. You have a vice president. You have a foreign secretary. They can all go there. Foreign minister, they can all go there and represent you. This is very serious. And unfortunately, this thing has been coming for a long time. As you rightfully said in your introduction, this is not the first jailbreak. We witnessed it in
Edo State,
in
in
Imo,
Oyo State, in Osun,
Oyo,
in Imo, in Kaduna,
in Kogi.
In Kogi states.
What we are talking about that? What about the attack on soldiers last week in Shiroro?
Over 30 soldiers were
in
killed.
Kwara. What's going on?
In one fell swoop, over 30 soldiers were
This
killed.
doesn't inspire confidence. Now, of course, I read it somewhere that, the DSS and intelligence people have, from time to time trying to push out this intelligence. Then the question now begs the question, what are those who are meant to use this information doing? Shouldn't that be a time for them to even, further buffer our security? And then that even another question is, why are terrorists being kept in a medium facility? Or doesn't Nigeria have the maximum facility? Why are they even kept together? This much terrorists kept together in one place. I'm not a security expert, but you know that. You don't do that. It gives them enough room to cause fire. It makes that place a high target of this kind of thing. And
so
it's
vulnerable to attack.
Of course. If we saw the trends going on in all these other local or locations, and then you have this much people in Aba, I believe as a country we can do better. And this needs to be taken as an emergency, because what we are seeing is that the terrorists are getting more emboldened.
Sure.
They are testing the wheel.
No doubt about that.
They are testing the wheel of the Nigerian state. Let's leave politics, differences, or whatnot. Our collective sovereignty as a nation.
It's been threatened. Sure. It's been threatened.
And we really need to have
more than ever before.
We need to have a real conversation, and let nobody think because it's not,
it's not happening in Lagos State. It's not happening in Oyo or Bauchi.
If the seat of our
power is threatened,
don't think that yours cannot also be overrun by this.
Well, Barrister, let me just quickly also put it on record that not too long ago there was intelligence report that some part of Abuja will come under attack, and it has happened. How come that our intelligence, our DSS, cannot be proactive enough to prevent it? That's number one. Secondly, our current president is a retired general, whether you like it or not. And for you to have assumed that level in the army, that shows you're on top of your game. But have you really seen that in practice, that we have a retired general as a president? That's number two. The third question to you is, now the US and the UK embassy, they've issued a travel advice to their citizens in the country that Abuja is no longer safe for them to reside. So what is this talking about? Even investors that may be willing to come into the country to come and invest, when the seat of power is being threatened, where else can we say it's safe, in our fatherland?
let me quickly address the first question. I don't think it's fair, accurate, or even factual to say the DSS are not proactive or those within. At least, let me speak at the level of those on the ground. Not that I say that with all, you know. I think by and large, these people may be doing their work. But I think where I would put the blame on are those who have the decision to take. For instance, we have the chief of the NSA, Mungunu. I mean,
That's a national security advisor. Babangida Mugudu. We have the minister for defense, Bashir Magashi. We have the chief of army staff. We have the chief of defense staff.
Yeah.
I think by now somebody must have been fired.
I mean,
Somebody must have been asked to go home because of this.
definitely.
Somebody must have been asked to go home.
Now,
But yet we are not seeing that from the president.
I mean, these people there are many reports, even by newspapers and all media and all whatnot, saying that, that section. So, I don't think it will be fair, honestly. Maybe because now the president is blaming
Lack of intelligence on the part of the military, and yet he has not fired. He doesn't have the.
I mean, they are now being the ones thrown under the bus, which is okay. I mean,
don't understand.
The Oga can always do that, but the truth about it is that there's no question that even though they are doing their best is not good enough. That must be said. For
Their best may not be good enough because at the moment it seems like our military has been overstretched. We know they are fighting this same Boko Haram terrorist ISWAP in the northeastern part of the country. Yobe, Borno, Adamawa. Boko Haram is still thriving in most of these states. And we also know that even in the eastern part of the country, we know what is going on in Anambra, in Imo, in Ebonyi, in Abia, because of the Eastern Security Network, because of the prescribed indigenous people of Biafra. We know that the military are there to protect life and properties. We are talking of well over 200 citizens of this country.
Yes.
And by and large, our military, the police, NSDC, all the military apparatus, they are not up to 10,000. Is it possible for them to protect life and property of well over 200 people?
Okay, to be honest, just as you have alluded, in terms of capacity, there's no doubt that there's a conversation that needs to be done. Because I'm of the opinion, I'm a lawyer, and I really don't like the idea that our national space is being militarized to a large extent to stop all manner of agitations. I believe if the police had capacity in terms of equipment, training, as well as their welfare, they would have the ability to quell some of these violent agitations here and there. You don't even see in America the military coming. What you see is, top.
You hardly see them.
Top police.
It's when the national security is being threatened that you see them talking about the U.S. Marine. You don't see the regular soldier on
in
the
fact,
street.
if you check the U.S., the U.S. will not even bring the Marines. They will bring their National Guard.
Yeah.
I think it's against their constitution, but that is even aside, right? The reality is that there's a question of capacity. Just as the Punch said, and segueing to your next question, this is the time for the president to show leadership. This is the time for him to be present. This is the time for him to put his foot down and to ensure that normalcy is restored to as many of the hotspots that are coming. Abuja, the seat of our capital. The seat of our capital represents what? Our sovereignty. It represents our glory. It represents our strength. And when that is being attacked by ragtag terrorists, it's embarrassing. It signals, it sends the wrong signals first to your citizens. Of course, it's also demoralizing to your own military staff. And then, of course, you don't expect, just to segue to your next question, other foreign nationals. What do you expect them to do? That's even what a responsible government to do. You tell your people, please be careful. I'm sure they also have certain intelligence that, of course, they wouldn't want to share, but will need to utilize to secure their citizens.
Well, you are still listening to Issues in the News, coming to you live on your radio station of choice, 90.3 FM, Voice of the People. Our dear listeners, you can be part of this program at this point. The number to call in is 0700 903 903 903. We want to hear from you because we are giving you the voice to also contribute to share your views and opinion on what we have been discussing all along. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903, and you can also send in your messages to our WhatsApp platform. The number to do that is 0700 9039 903 9039. For WhatsApp platform, the number to send in your messages 0700 903 9039. We are expecting the okay. I think we have the first caller on the show this morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
My name is Lucky.
Okay,
Calling
Lucky.
from Ojo.
Okay, please go ahead. You have the floor.
Please, for the thing going on, like, of contribution on this issue is that, first of all, I heard that before the attack was carried on that Kogi, that the military has been withdrawn. Like, this is not the first time. This is not the second time. This is not the third time. We've been hearing about attack. Before the attack will go on, they will withdraw the military. And which people are securing the lives of the people again? Like, I don't understand what is really going on in this country where we are. Are we going to run away from the country? And again, after the attack, instead of the president to come and address the issue, we heard that he went there, and the next minute he's out. What is really happening? Is it not better they put this country in a state of emergency so that we know that our lives are not in our hands anymore? That is my own contribution. Please, they need to address this issue because the international investors who will now want to come to the state, to the country to do one or two things, expect some companies to do things in this, they will be afraid. Look at Canada. They say Canada have warned their citizens not from entering Nigeria. That this is the state which you cannot enter. You cannot enter Imo State, this one in our country. And the president is aware of all these things going on. What is really going on, please? You people should please talk. Speak to their ears so that they will know that we are no longer safe. 2023 is coming. We are no longer safe. And we are going to do something about it. That is my own contribution. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your contribution. You can still be part of this program by calling us on 0700 903 903 903. I repeat, 0700 903 903 903. Okay, I think we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Soji Badijo, and I'm calling from Maji Adeyi, Faja, Lagos.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's have a contribution.
Yes, I want to appreciate your guest in the studio. He has actually done justice to the topic in view. Yes, I want to react on this Kuje prison attack. It is very sad and a black day for the country. And to me, it looks more like a conspiracy. That why are security operatives are trying to guard this prison at that point in time? Do we call it coincidence or last on part of the government? Remember, same thing has happened in Osun, Edo, Kaduna, Imo, and others. And as of today, no single head as well, nor a single person fired, which points to that some people are compromised in this act of this act. The truth is that our security preparedness is zero. And if I may ask, where is the intelligentsia? BMI, police intelligence, SSS? Does it mean we don't have them any longer? Or are they being overwhelmed? And to add to the injury, our president, which is supposed to be the father of the nation, still had the guts to travel out of the country today. Did the man have a woman's feelings at all? I pity this country. Now, the last one is, now, foreign country now has now issued a red flag to their citizens, which is very bad for the country. Good morning and have a nice day.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Badijo. Barrister Eromosele, your final thoughts in 30 seconds on the program this morning. Okay, I think we have another caller on the line. Let's take the caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
You have Ambassador Musa from me.
Ambassador, you have just 30 seconds to go, please. Thank you.
10 seconds.
30 seconds. Go ahead.
10 seconds. Okay. For me, I think something is happening in this country, and nobody is asked our leader. Nobody come out to ask our leader a question. Even the president of this country are still more powerful than the president who are. These are the reasons why our leaders never try to organize themselves, because they believe whatever they've done it. Nothing can happen. Look, what happened in Nigeria today is like most of the security agency is like they're being compromised. They're compromising all over the places. Because I don't even understand. The other day, we had a soldier who are involved in the Boko Haram or whatever killed himself. Nothing happened up to this moment. We need to ask these people questions. Look, when United Nations were bombed in 2012 or whatever, when they have bombing, up to this moment, I believe our leaders could have just put one or two things together to at least to checkmate these people. Because look, President Goodluck, may I ask a question? Ask a question. How will I ask this one question?
Ambassador Musba. Ambassador Musba. Okay, thank you so much for your call and for your contribution, and to all our other callers. We say thank you so much for being part of the program today. Join us tomorrow, same time, same station at 10 o'clock when we come your way with the final edition of Issues in the News for the week. My name is Taiwo Lapade, and also thank you to our guest, Barrister Eromosele. We'll be back on the show tomorrow. God